what they do, man. Man City are always a problem. Like, they've got the best manager on the planet. They've got a wicked squad. They've been in the distance. They've won it 4 out of 5 times. They're a good team. And if we beat them to the title this season, we fully deserve it. Arteta needs to take mad props for getting us 5 points clear.
I don't know if you were watching or listening, but read the screen. Lee Gunner. Lee Gunner is Arteta in. Just as I told you he would be. Just as I predicted. A little later, I said around January, I think he's held off until about now because he didn't want to prove me right. But Lee Gunner is Arteta in. And of course, Arteta deserves mad props for getting you 5 points clear and getting you into a title race, because that's the one thing that his detractors said he would never be able to do. It's good to see Lee Gunner getting behind his manager now, admitting that he was wrong, being Arteta in, giving him the credit where credit is due. And just, I think Lee's doing this now and he'll get to fully enjoy it, because you can't abuse Lee now. He's admitted he was wrong, etc., etc. So well done to Lee for doing that. Before we go any further, hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell notification button as well so you get sent notifications, but also scan that QR code on the screen right now to follow the Top 6 podcast on Spotify, released twice a week exclusively there. About 1,500 of you have now come and followed us over there, which I'm very humbled by. Very humbled by. So make sure you get that done as well. But on Arsenal, how good do you think they are? You know, I reacted to it last night and just thought to myself, 3-0, easy win, 5 wins on the bounce, 3 clean sheets in those 2 games. All the nonsense about them crumbling and falling has been completely put to bed. I want your views on it, but let's take a look here what man like Don Robbie had to say.
Best team in the league. And as we saw yesterday with them away at Palace, there are no easy games. We saw it at Bournemouth yesterday with Liverpool. They won 7-0 last week. Go to Bournemouth, can't get a win. Man United today at home against Southampton, draw. Yeah, let's put some big respect on Arsenal, what they've been doing. 5 wins on the bounce now.
So true what Robbie said there. And people often don't want to give Arsenal the credit that they deserve. I've got 2 reasons for doing it. One, look, with the original neutral channel, that it talks about more than one football club. And part of doing that was for me to drop my bias and speak about things as I honestly see them. Secondly, I don't like teams that are doing well being discredited. I don't like when Pep Guardiola gets called a checkbook manager. It's intellectually dishonest. I don't like it when Man United's successes of the past are put down to paying referees. It's just bad banter. And I want to talk about the football. I love banter, but banter for me should be 10 to 20% of football. The rest of it should be talking about what's good and what's bad and throwing in real arguments and real debates, not talking like 10-year-olds in the playground at primary school. And Arsenal have been sensational. And the fact that Bournemouth beat Liverpool, United dropped points to Southampton. And listen, there was a red card in that game and terrible refereeing that stopped us. A little bit like Arsenal dropping points to Brentford, who, by the way, are much better than Southampton. There was problems in that game, but it shows how difficult this league is. And one mistake or one problem could throw you off course. And to win 5 games on the bounce since their collapse, as the media were calling it, is brilliant from Arsenal. And their detractors out there, you know, the Gabby Abonglahors, the Jamie O'Hara's, the Gary Nevilles, of course, of this world, the Simon Jordans, who have continually written them off. What now? You're in the mud. They have 11 games remaining and they're 5 points clear. They're going to play this forthcoming weekend, win that, and they are 8 points clear with 10 games to go. Yes, City are going to have a game in hand over them. And let's say they win it and they go into those last 10 games. It means they need to win 2 more games than Arsenal in the remaining in 10 matches. Now, looking at Arsenal's run rate, they don't lose more than 2 games in a 10-game period. They don't drop points that regularly. If you look at their current run rate this season, City are going to have to be perfect. City have to, in my opinion, win their last 11 games to win the league. Based on probability, not the maths. Although probability is part of maths. Not based on the points difference, based on the probability of Arsenal losing more games than them in their last 11 matches. They're going to need to win all 11 games. And personally, I cannot see it coming. That's why I agree with Robbie. Arsenal are the best team in the league. They need their credit where credit is due. And I'm just interested to see, because they haven't come out yet so far today. I went to record this show and none of their detractors have said a word on social media today. And they've been silenced and they've been broken, completely broken by Arsenal.
Let's go! Come on! Embarrassingly corrupt and rigged. The referee has again something against Manchester United. The referee has again something against the best defensive midfielder on Casemiro. How is that a red card? How is this a red card?
What do you think, people? Reflecting on it now 24 hours later, do you still think it was a red card? Do you think it's corruption? Or is there inconsistencies here? Obviously, this United fan, fuming, angry, annoyed, thinks it's corrupt, something against Casemiro personally. What do you think? I really want your take on this. I really, really do. Let's have a little look here at what Goldbridge had to say.
He couldn't get out. He can't get that out. Couldn't change that quick enough. Absolute cretin, ref. Counts.
Cretin. It's called...
So, again, couldn't change it quick enough. Absolute twat.
Oh,
no idea
he ain't happy
about football, that ref.
None.
Yes, he goes over the top. I'm not having that. Not having that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I knew he was going to give a red card because basically what's happened is, where's my ball?
Where's my ball?
Won't get this on Match of the Day because it's not even on. So basically, this is what's happened, right? Casemiro has gone to tackle the ball, right? And all his force is going on that side, yeah? And what happens when you put force on the ball? Rolls over the top. So basically, he's gone for the tackle, like that.
This is elite analysis. I can't even lie. This is elite analysis. And I mean it in the nicest possible way. I'm like genuinely genuinely, this is brilliant by Mark. This is genuinely brilliant. It really, really is. Sorry, keep going.
And then his foot's gone over the top and he's caught the player. You're never going to appeal it because they'll say it was reckless. He's gone for the ball like that and he's gone over the top. It's just, if you haven't played the game, they'll just look at the, I mean, guaranteed look at it, you know.
Mark's slamming it. Mark is not like, and I get where he's coming from. For me, I think it's a red. I think it's a red. And Sabitzer had one a few weeks ago where he touches, he was stud showing, it was knee high, but he touched him. So I knocked my mic there. And there was no follow through. He didn't go through the guy's knee. That's a yellow card, in my opinion. And if the referee doesn't see it in real time, nothing, because VAR can't give yellow cards. When you go through someone or your pressure drags down them or goes through them, I think it has to be a red. I'm not annoyed about Casemiro's red. It's the consistency that I have an issue with. I don't think there's a conspiracy. I don't think it's corruption. I think there is just a lack of consistency from these referees. If we take a listen to what Ten Hag had to say, you see what he means. But equally, would you remove Mark for a minute and take a look at this? These two pictures show it. And a lot of people will call this whataboutism, but this is a moment where whataboutism should exist because we're not talking about completely different conversations. These are similar tackles in the same league being refereed by the same people. Take a little look at this. So this here, Pereira on João Felix, just the day before Casemiro's, right through his leg that he goes, no yellow card given. Earlier on this season, right on the shin, threw him after missing the ball. Van Dijk not given a red card. That is where my complaints come in here. Where is the consistency from these referees? That's what I want to see above and beyond anything else. But let's take a look at what Ten Hag had to say.
What I think is the inconsistency. The players don't know anymore what is the
spot on, the inconsistency
policy. And I think it's all across. When you see this weekend, the Premier League, yesterday, Leicester-Chelsea, then it's VAR is not coming on the line. Today, it's coming on the line. And then it's coming a penalty, or two penalty situations, but they don't come on the line. I think especially the first one, I think for me was clear and obvious handball. So what is the policy? Inconsistent. The refereeing is coming in the start of the season with the policy. We are Premier League. We are it's coming strong.
He's spot on here, Ten Hag. And I'll tell you another little policy thing, and Arsenal fans will understand this. The foul on the Odegaard on Eriksen that led to Martinelli's goal being disallowed at Old Trafford. At the beginning of the season, they said those little pushes in the back, those little knockovers, they were no longer going to give them as fouls. So I understood the anger from Arsenal fans. Since that moment, though, what's crept back into the game is the little pushovers in the back. 6'3", 15-stone defenders getting pushed by tiny players falling over. They're now being given as fouls again. This happens all the time with the Premier League. They set a standard and it lasts for a month or two and it goes away. By April, the penalties Man United didn't get today will be given as penalties to everybody. But yet it's already scuppered our opportunities of winning games. This is the problem with the Premier League. They're inconsistent. And every decision that they make, the PG, MLL, whatever they're bloody called, it's all about protecting the referees as opposed to instead of getting the right decisions in games. And it's damaging. It's massively, massively damaging for the Premier League's image, for the Premier League's product. And I call out fans here. Fans also play a big part. I get it's fun to banter Man United yesterday. But calling Rashford's a dive, saying it's whataboutery to bring up other red card tackles that weren't given, defending the handball and laughing at it, all you're actually doing is you're guaranteeing in the next game, you are going to get bad decisions against you. I don't think people do not see beyond the end of their nose at these problems.
Absolutely. And just going back to Enzo Fernandez, look, we got...
Boys, turn that microphone down. Turn the microphone down.
Got rid of Jorginho and there was seriously mixed reactions. And obviously Arsenal, I think we have to agree, they got a great deal out of it, because he is a top player, but he's also a player who has many flaws when he's not playing his best. What does Enzo Fernandez bring to Chelsea that we lacked with Jorginho, and why do you think this is such a good deal for us?
It's like Jorginho, but with, I say, stronger passing, because Jorginho can play a loop ball, but he plays it very weak and it takes a long time to come back down onto the ground. His way of pass is just unbelievable. Enzo will also give you the physical side to the game that we all know Jorginho lacks. Even the biggest Jorginho fan will admit that to you. And defensively, it's just a lot more solid. Now, I have been saying I would have liked to see Jorginho with Enzo, because I do think it would have been a bit more solid, but it's in the past. We're winning games. I'm not going to sit here and do these ifs, buts and maybes. Enzo and Kovacic look like they're starting to become a little bit better. And again, they grew into it. I thought the first half, Kova wasn't necessarily that good. I thought they was a little bit sloppy within the first 20-30, but he grew into the game. He got a lot more confident. He was making the right decisions as the game continued to progress. And I could say the same for a lot of them, because that front three at the start, I saw flashes from them, but that was it. Havertz had that nice little ball to Felix. That was about all that I saw from him until the goal. Felix should have buried that chance, and he's got a habit of just hitting the woodwork. It's the third game, I think, in a row now that he's done it, and I don't know if it's just bad finishing or if it's just unlucky for him, because it's a question of millimetres with him every single time, but you need that clinical edge to your game. You could have 4 goals right now this season. He's still stuck on 1, and it's because of the woodwork. That's something that he's going to need to work on. Mudryk, I thought good.
On Enzo, because it's a little bit hard to keep listening just because they sort the gain out on your microphone. It's so high. They spoke in the title of this video was Enzo's worth 120 million. 120 million is a bargain for him. And I wanted to speak on Enzo because I think he is and he's going to continue to prove to be. He was brilliant for Chelsea this weekend. And I actually think he's been pretty good for Chelsea since he's arrived, but it's about growing chemistry. And Chelsea have shown that in the last 3 games that some is starting to be created. The big question is, where else do you think they need to improve? Whether it's personnel being brought in off the bench or from the reserve situation, because they've got a massive squad in the summer. What else do you think Chelsea need to purchase? But has everybody been a little bit premature when it comes to Graham Potter? That's my big question for you. Everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you. Make sure like buttons are hit, as I say. Subscribe, bell notifications, leave your comments below. But scan the code now or click on the link in the description to come follow the podcast on Spotify, the Top 6 show there. Twice a week that comes out. Until we speak again, thank you. God bless. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you.